for the purpose of analysis, we shall divide this history of women politics or gender politics or women movement, whatever you call it, into 3 phases. Now let me write down these 3 phases. A first phase is 19th century India, and the second phase is during nationalist struggle for freedom, and the third stage is independent India. So these are the 3 broad phases into which history of women movement we have divided for the purpose of analysis or for the purpose of discussion. The first phase is 19th century India. The second phase is during the nationalist struggle for freedom, and the third stage is independent India. Let me take the first phase first. So I erase these 2 phases and we shall concentrate on 19th century India. During 19th century, we broadly find 2 trends in the women movement. One is revivalist movement, and another is reform movement. So these are the 2 broad phases, the revivalist movement and the reform. Now let me take the revivalist movement first. All of you have heard about Dayanand Saraswati, the so-called Vedic Swaraj, where the slogan was "Back to the Vedas," because the revivalists in the 19th century thought that all wisdom lies in the past, or all wisdom lies in the Vedas. This particular movement was a kind of reaction to the writing of the British historians or the colonial historians, who wrote that the Indian people are incapable of self-rule because of the cruelty or the barbaric practices that the Indian society perpetrates or allows, particularly the Hindu society, against the Shudra. And because of these barbaric and cruel practices, the British historians wrote that Indians are incapable of self-rule or incapable of freedom. As a reaction to these writings of the British historians, the revivalists came with the argument that all these ills or all these discriminatory practices that India witnessed during the 19th century came only after the invaders came into India, particularly the Muslim invaders. They cite the example of the Vedic society, where they thought that the women were almost equal so far as right to education was concerned, so far as inheriting property was concerned. Hence, all ills started in India only after the Britishers came into India. This kind of cruel practices like widow immolation, parda, female infanticide, they are not inherent to the Indian society or to the Hindu society. That was their argument. Now the feminists, they find a number of flaws in this kind of a narrative or this kind of an argument that the ills started only after the Muslims came. Because this kind of argument in fact generates a very dangerous kind of trend. What is that dangerous kind of trend? That it seeks to divide India on religious lines. that the Hindu women, they actually had the original equal rights, but it was only the Muslims who introduced all these discriminatory practices. So this in fact is a kind of dividing the people on religious lines, and it suited. Remind me, they were trying to counter the arguments of the British historians or the Britishers, but it suited the British purpose because the Britishers themselves wanted to divide as well. They wanted to divide India into Hindus and Muslims. So this kind of an argument actually gave impetus to